Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It is 21 minutes past 5 p.m. This is the Smooth Drive on your smoothest dial on radio. Ayokumike Kirekon is my name, and Joy Ureya is also with me in the studio. It's time to get into the marketplace. This is where we're going to talk about what's going on in the market's latest developments, and of course, all the news and information making the rounds so that you can also make some informed decisions. And as I mentioned earlier, multiple times, we're going to be talking about the dollar impact on Nigeria's sugar prices for all the industries that have something to do with sugar. This is definitely something that you want to be a part of. I know people have had so many different conversations talking about the high price of sugar in making bread, in making cakes, making pastries, so many other things. So we need to know the dollar impact on the sugar prices. And joining us this evening to talk about this and give us all the information and all the tea as well is Callista Chileke. She is the consumer goods analyst at ARM Securities. Callista, very good evening to you. Welcome to the marketplace.
Hi, good evening, Aya. Good evening, Joy. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you in.
It's a pleasure. Okay, so Callista, let's start with this now. There was this cartoon that I actually saw, and it, you know what? Let me just quote the what's in the bubble.
The caption.
Now,
Yeah.
the caption in the bubble. Now, when dollar was 1,900, a bag of sugar was 75,000 naira. Now that the dollar is 1,450 naira, yet a bag of sugar is 87,000. Is sugar the real problem in Nigeria? And so help us to address this question that is posed. Why are sugar prices increasing even though the dollar is coming down ever so slightly?
Oh, I think this doesn't even apply to just sugar. Many consumer goods, which are affected by the dollar or may not even be affected by the dollar, have remained with high prices, even though the dollar has come down. For one, I think the stock that these sellers are selling were bought at the old dollar price, and they want to sell them off before they start selling at the new price in order for them to recoup their profits. Another reason could be just, share needs to hedge against inflation. Inflation currently is very high, and high inflation means more money. They need more money to buy goods and services. So they just want to maximize and take advantage of the whole situation. Human instincts, Nigerian business sense. That all just boils down to
Nigerian business sense, Nigerian math. I saw a video of that on social media.
See, that math was
I was laughing my head off, really.
Okay, so talking about math and trying to, well, talk about more about Nigeria. I actually want to find out, yeah? We actually grow sugarcane in Nigeria, right? How come, why can't Nigeria actually grow enough of it to meet her local demands rather than always importing or trying to buy from other countries?
Nigeria has a plan, right, to produce about 1.8 million metric tons of raw sugar and attain self-sufficiency in sugar production by, well, it was as of 2023, but that didn't happen, and that plan was written in the 2012 Nigerian Sugar Master Plan, right? Okay. But obviously that didn't stop the production last year. So we're facing significant problems in our sugar production, and goal is yet to be achieved, even though we've seen significant capital expenditures by major players in the industry, the sugar industry. That I'm talking about Dank Sugar, Boa Sugar, and Dank Sugar and Boa Sugar, the two major players in the sugar industry. So while we kind of are being optimistic that maybe in the next 2 to 3 years we could see more investment in these two companies, and it could we saw that recently Dank Sugar even just
Hi, Callista.
tons per day to 3,800 tons per day in 2020. So there are plans to further improve their capacity. So hopefully that comes into fruition. So what is holding us back is just basically poor production capacity.
Okay.
Poor production capacity. Where have I heard that before? I just wonder. And before we get over the conversation, just to remind wonderful listeners out there, you can be a part of the conversation, as always, by sharing your thoughts and your messages with us on WhatsApp, 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981 is the WhatsApp number. And you can also join us on the live stream on YouTube. That's Smooth 981 FM Lagos on YouTube. Join the live stream. And of course, you can see me in my nice winter getup in the studio, as well as the lovely ladies as well who are on with me right now. Okay, so Callista, food inflation. Let's talk about that. It has crossed 37%. Now, bearing that in mind, will we continue to see pressure on sugar prices?
I believe so, yes. I believe we'll still see pressure on sugar prices. Inflation is driving cost of production up for many of these producers, and they reflect it on the prices of their goods and services, including sugar. So yeah, I think we might see sugar prices remain high for the meantime, yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, then is it, if it keeps rising as it is at the moment, what's going to happen to other items that use sugar as its raw material, say for those who are into beverages, who are into baked goods? What's the solution for them, or what's the output that they'll be getting?
Well, we all know that many Nigerian consumer products have sugar in them. Our bread, biscuits, even our noodles, sweet and the likes all
A
contain
lot of things have sugar in them these days.
all contain sugar, right? And if the major raw material for producing these goods is undergoing price increases, then it's only expected that the prices of these products also go up. And my area here, I don't know about your area, we have bread going for 2,000 naira. I don't know.
Where is your area, Callista? I'm actually very curious, so I can avoid that area.
My area, we have bread going for 2,000 naira. So all these reflect this on these other goods. So let me just state that a major driver of our inflation is cost push inflation, where we have costly raw materials driving up prices of finished products. So yeah, all this. So if sugar prices remain high, we might see these other products have high prices.
Okay, so if that's the case, is there any point in time where we'll be looking at having alternatives to sugar? When I mean alternatives, we have other plant products, the states, there are even coconut as well. So
honey, perhaps?
There's even honey. So is there any futuristic plan to, okay, since we can't afford sugar right now, we look for all the supplements?
That'd be a possibility. I mean, look at cassava bread and so on and so forth.
Well, there's plans, really. There should be plans. I know that individually, when people say, "Oh, I want to stay off sugar, I'm going to go for honey." So individually, yeah, there are people already substituting sugar for honey and these other products. But nationally, I think that boils down to our farmers and our agricultural sector. And we know that that sector is under a lot of pressure, facing a lot of challenges and all that. So, such as insecurity, majorly, farmers are scared to go to the farm. So, if we can, curb that those particular issues facing the agricultural sector, then maybe yes, we could actually have those alternatives on a national level.
Okay.
Maybe, just maybe, we could have those alternatives. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. We'll also have to wait and see what else is in store on the marketplace right here on Smooth 98.1 as we take a quick breather. And then on the other side, the conversation will continue. Don't go anywhere. Sugar. God, please help me. That battle to stop sugar.
Oh, sorry, are we on break?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
At the moment.
We're still live though, but we're still streaming live. We're still on YouTube right now, but we're on a break. Very short break. We'll come back in.
So in my trying to substitute sugar, I bought dates. I ground them myself. because I saw there was one. I tried one that had been refined. I didn't like it, so I tried to do the dates myself. Tried it out, blended it. Tried it.
It was a disaster, I'm sure.
Sugar. Honey, I would
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
I will still,
I've tried honey with my tea.
Yes.
It just it doesn't hit.
One
It
is
doesn't.
not bad. One is not bad.
But it doesn't hit. Maybe because I'm not used to it. My dad can drink tea without sugar now. He has won that battle. I always tell him, "Well done, sir."
If you can do
I'm
that, then
I'm still at war.
no, I'm not joining you,
I'm still
please.
at war. I beg. Maybe later I can.
Maybe in my older age, when I grow old.
But everything, there's sugar in virtually everything. Even
There's
things you
sugar
don't
there.
expect to have sugar, there's sugar in there.
Like when you mentioned noodles, it was until I was checking it that I realized,
I had
oh
no idea
yes.
until she mentioned that. I had no idea.
I'd actually not prior to yes, what she mentioned, yeah, I know. But I had also, every time you were being told, oh, check what you're eating, check what you're eating.
Yeah.
As one of the online influencer doctors will always say, drink water, mind your business. So I decided to go and check what it is that I was eating. And I realized that, oh, they would just change the name from sugar and put either fructose, sucrose, something, glucose.
All
So
types
yeah,
of
Fish
sugar
it.
now.
so it's just sugar. It's eating. Still have sugar in it.
But I don't think all sugars are bad. I mean,
All sugars are
like
bad.
sugars in fruits. I think is that fructose?
That's
No,
fructose, actually.
I think there's
Yes.
brown sugar too.
There's what? Oh, brown
There's
sugar
brown.
is that. Yes. So that's another healthier alternative, but
Yeah.
is the processing is way different from how you process your white sugar. So that's even why it makes it more expensive. But hey, we all want to live.
I want to live a sweet life. Sweet. That's cocoa. I beg. Don't stress me. We're going back. All right, welcome back to the second half of the marketplace on the Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love live station. It is 33 minutes past 5 p.m. My name is Ayo. Joy is still here with me in the studio, as well as our very special guest in the person of Callista Chileke. She is the consumer goods analyst at ARM Securities. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about the dollar impact on Nigeria's sugar prices. And as always, you can be a part of the conversation. Nay, we'd love you to be part of the conversation by sending your thoughts in on WhatsApp, any questions or any thoughts that you might have on the issue to 0809 440 981, 0809 440 981. And if you'd love to have a more visual guide to what we're doing in the studio, you can check the live stream on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, Callista, let's get back into the conversation. And before we went on that short interlude there, we're talking about the pressure on sugar prices and the prices probably most likely or probably continuing to rise. Now, what does this mean for the consumer goods sector in terms of the impact that will have on profits?
Okay. So there are major problems facing the consumer goods sector, and I'm just going to say three of them. There's inflation, high interest rates, and of course the dollar problem, the FX depreciation issue. So for inflation, like I said, it's cost plus inflation, where price of raw materials are high and producers have to shift the cost to the finished product and by extension the final consumer. Now, consumers like us, we have to start evaluating our expenses, particularly for non-essentials. So companies with non-essential products are very likely to experience lower demand. So overall inflation puts pressure on the bottom line revenue of these companies in the consumer goods sector, as their sales volume may not increase significantly during the period of high inflation. So inflation has negative impact on their profits.
Okay. So now if that's one way of saying things, I'm just wondering, could they possibly see more layoffs happening as these prices remain elevated? Will companies be looking at downsizing and the likes?
Okay. During this should I say trying times of the economy, companies are trying
Mm.
to companies are trying to cut down costs and are looking for various measures to achieve that. People are getting sacked. We're seeing cuts down of
Mm.
salaries, right? Some companies
That's
have
another
also
issue.
resorted, yeah. So some companies have also resorted to, a hybrid work system to reduce
Okay.
operational costs and to also help their employees save transport money at least. Because
That
we know how high
that is that is
transportation is
major.
at the moment.
That is major.
Yes. So all these are just strategies that companies are employing just to at least ease themselves and ease their employees.
Hmm. But would this also have any impact on their profit, seeing that hey, if you're reducing the people that are coming through, how about the
How about the what, sir?
profits? Since we're looking at slashing people's salaries and the
Yeah.
likes, or trying to cut costs and all that, will that also affect profits going forward?
Well, like I said, there are various issues, various factors that determine their profits in the sector based on the issues that they are facing. So these layoffs and cutting operational costs is just a way to mitigate the inflation side of the problem. So there's still higher interest rates and FX devaluation problem that they are facing. So they're combating a lot of challenges.
Challenges here and there, all over the place. Callista, let's talk about shrinkflation. And it's actually very telling. This is the second time today that I'm going to use the word shrinkflation. Joy and I went out earlier to get some pastries, and then we saw that the Joy mentioned that look at the I think the chicken pie, the meat pie, it was looking like my fist, and I said to her, "Oh, it's shrinkflation." I literally said to her, it's shrinkflation.
Indeed.
And, talking about that, and for those who probably don't know what shrinkflation is, can you define it for us and whether we're going to see more of it in 2024?
Well, shrinkflation is a funny term used to describe a situation where the quantity of a product or its quality
Mhm.
um reduces while the price of that product remains the same or even increases. So it's just a strategy that these companies employ in this time to to what they call it to try and reduce their costs, right, while still trying to provide value for consumers. So I think recently I said, okay, let me get myself donuts, right? So I got to the shop. I said, okay, give me jam donuts. I said, okay, this is jam donuts. This packet, fair enough. I got the jam donuts. I went home. Okay, let me settle down and eat my jam donuts. The keyword
Oh,
on jam donuts. Keyword is jam donuts. Only
Sorry.
for me to bite into my donuts and I couldn't find the jam. I did not know.
at least there wasn't beans in the
I didn't
donuts.
know how to do. I know, I didn't know how to feel. So that is shrinkflation basically. You're buying something that you used to buy that used to be big, but now you're buying it for the same price or
Okay.
the higher price, but now it's smaller or the quality is just really
Has
bad. So
dropped.
that's shrinkflation. Yes.
Okay, but Kalista, looking at the options, because some people might say, oh, if we leave the quality of the goods at where people know, but we increase the prices, people will not buy. I mean, is there
Mm,
is there any winning in this situation? I mean, then the other thing to do would be then to shrinkflate. That is, probably reduce the quality
yes.
or the size and then sell it for something which is quote unquote affordable. Is there even any winning for a business owner, a producer right now?
Quite well. I think the only people winning in this situation are the companies because they are reducing what they are giving to the consumers and are still increasing their prices. So the final consumers are not finding it funny, but these companies are, I think, they are getting the upper hand with this one.
Hmm. Sadly, that's yeah. Like you said, they're the ones having the upper hand. I'm wondering when do we get to have a smile on our face and have,
I smile every day.
no,
Make yourself happy.
make yourself
Make
happy.
yourself
I
happy.
agree. So while I'm trying to make myself happy, I want to know, with respect to the stock market, does all of this shrinkflation, increase in sugar, mean anything? And will it leave the consumer goods stocks alone, or are there attractive buys in the market?
The consumer goods sector has taken such a big hit between 2023 and now. But we've seen players such as Dwarf Foods maintain a strong position, while other major players like Nestle, Nigerian breweries, Flour Mills, PZ, took big FX losses. I think as at their 2023 full year earnings result. But in 2024, we could see some shareholder action, some merger and acquisition that could bode well for the sector. For one, we see the completion of the Dank Sugar, Nascon, and Dangote Rice merger.
Okay.
And last year, when the merger was announced, we saw a rally in the stock prices of these tickers, particularly Dank Sugar. And we hope that when this is eventually completed, it might pose as a big booster for the sector.
Okay, so but I want to find out, right? During COVID and that we didn't have this there was this break, right? But we don't have the impact wasn't felt so much then. How come we're feeling it now?
All those companies actually felt the impact in 20. If you look at their financial results, they actually did feel the impact. But I think the combination of all the policies this new administration brought, removal of fuel subsidy, the FX valuation policy and everything, FX unification policy, everything just coming together was just a whole lot for the economy. So that is why we're feeling it this way.
All right. So, Callista, that being said, with everything we've talked about now, everything we've poured out on the table, gathered back together, and so on and so forth.
Indeed.
What's your outlook for the consumer goods sector as we journey along or march along into the rest of 2024?
Okay. Like I mentioned before, the major problems the sector is facing, just say it again, FX, value inflation, and high interest rates. FX issues, I think FX issues and inflation have the most effect. But we've seen the CBN putting efforts targeted at improving the exchange rates, and we've seen the naira begin to appreciate against the dollar since last week. We could these CBN efforts could help to at least bring some respite in the sector. But it's important to note that these CBN strategies are what I would say are called a short-term fix, because what we need is actually sustainable. Because what we need is actually sustainable and long-term inflow of foreign exchange into the country, and it can only be achieved through increased production, exportation, and inflow of foreign direct investment and FPIs, that's foreign portfolio investment. But we could say that the CBN clearing of the FX backlogs and the transparency this new CBN administration has brought to the table could improve foreign investor confidence in the economy and could attract these people back into the country, because we've seen last year and now we've seen many companies leave Nigeria, like GSK. They left Nigeria because of the whole surrounding our foreign exchange. Anyway, that leads inflation, which is currently on the high side, and we see we'll continue to see these consumer goods sector players keep increase their prices through inflation and the rest. However, I think that this could only work efficiently for tickers that are essential or with less competing substitutes and strong brand loyalty. So as consumers, we're drawn to goods with goods that we are sure of, right? That we've known since childhood, so we're drawn to them.
Right.
And also goods with less competing substitutes. That is goods that don't have something you can substitute it for. But I think recently these days everybody's finding alternatives, right?
They won't tell you before you do.
So overall, at ARM, we advise that investors should position themselves in tickers in the sector that are proven to have robust fundamentals based on past financial performance and also the trajectory of their performance.
Okay.
All right, solid advice there. Thank you so much for the words of wisdom and, of course, explaining it to us to give us a better understanding of what's going on with the sugar prices that have been yo-yoing recently. We've been talking to our special guest this evening, Callista Chileke. She is the consumer goods analyst at ARM Securities. Thank you so much, Callista, for joining us this evening
You're
on the
welcome.
marketplace. All
Thank
right,
you
thank
very